conflict is where you have opposing views about achieving the same goals. So you have someone you feel, oh, it's obstructing my goal and I can't achieve the goal and it's important for me to achieve this goal. So you kind of bang, bang, bang. That's conflict for you. And one of the things that is very essential when we start talking about conflict is to realize that conflict is not always bad. We have what we refer to as productive conflict. We also have what we refer to as destructive conflict. So for example, a productive conflict is a conflict where you have learned a lot of things from. You strategically engage in the conflict because you know you want to draw an outcome. And the outcome is something that you take away and you have gained. You've gained about yourself in doing the conflict, and you have gained about relating to the other person as you do the conflict. So if you do that and it leads to good outcomes at the end of the day, we'll refer to that as a productive conflict. On the other hand, if you have engaged in a conflict, you haven't learned anything from it, either for yourself or you haven't learned anything about the person you have engaged with in the conflict, then that's a destructive conflict because it's no use for you as an individual, it's no use for the team, and it's no use for the organization. So to go back to your question, what are the kind of things that conflict might be able to do for us positively in the organization? We go back to the issue of removing the organization away from status quo. So if there is no conflict, organization will not adapt. They will continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. So when there is conflict, you shift the organization from status quo, and you can then move on to adaptation. And through the process of adaptation, you come through problem solving again, you come through innovation, you come through creativity, and you get to know, make your vision and goals clearer as a leader when people have conflict with you. In that way, we can achieve something positive with conflict in the organization. I guess one of the things I would say in encouraging positive conflict within the organization would be for the leader in the first instance not to be afraid of conflict. A lot of times I meet people who are so nervous about conflict. Oh, I can't do conflict. Oh, I can't do this. I don't want to be the person who is steering the storm. No, you don't have to steer the storm. As I've just said, conflict can be good and conflict can be bad. So if you don't say anything, then we don't know how we can help you. I used to tell a lot of people that if you want to do productive conflict and you are a manager, you need to encourage your followers to put their thoughts on the table. Tell me what you want. And then as we do the conflict, I will be in a position to help you to get what you want. But if I don't know what you want, there's no way in which I can provide you or help you to get to where you want to go. So one of the things would be that to have a leader who is not afraid to have a voice. You are not afraid of conflict, and therefore when conflict comes your way, you know what to do. Secondly, you need to be able to manage conflict. I've said it, I can't overemphasize it. You need to know how to manage conflict, because whether you like it or not, you will get one of these days, and you need to know how to help your team members to manage. In my own personal research, I found out that transformational leadership seemed to go well with helping to diminish all the challenges that conflict can bring, because they are the set of leaders who look after your emotions. So of course you know that with conflict brews emotions all the time. So if they're able to help with the emotions of conflict, then of course half of your problem is solved because you've taken the emotions away. So I found out that the transformational leadership is a good leadership style that calms people, looks after people, and can speak into their conflict issues. In terms of trait, I would imagine that somebody, as I said, who is authentic, who is able to see the conflict coming, who has conflict management skills and competences, will be able to do a lot better in creating constructive conflict at the end of the day. So even if the conflict was meant to be negative and awful, you can kind of turn that around a little bit for organizational positive outcomes. Yeah.